What is up, Gucci Gang? My name is Dandy Boy. This my son. His name is Gabe Bowser. I'm proud of him. Should have seen him at Smash Club. He was playing the piano. He was like, "Peach, you're so cool," and he was going off. Like the bars were spitting, and I was proud of him. Like super proud of him. He's an amazing son. But he doesn't matter. What matters is that I talk about Zelda because currently it is 9:52 on Thursday, May 11th of the year of our Lord 2023. And the thing is that I am rather impatient. And I would love to just jump in my car, you know, steer that wheel, like, whoa, go 15 miles per hour, responsibly, of course. Head on over to my local GameStop and pick up my pre-order of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Preferably not with this shitty, goofy resolution that my laptop has, because I can see the the pixels just, floating around the screen. I did acquire a Logitech streaming camera, like webcam, I think is what it's called. But I'm not using that today. Most notably because I did not know how to set this thing up. But you know what? I think it's nice to have this chill sort of atmosphere, like a firehouse chat like FDR had, you know? And sometimes, we just don't need edited videos. Sometimes we just need, a calm chit chat with the Gucci gang, and just think about, what? How has Zelda impacted me in my life? Because I would consider this my most anticipated game ever, really. And I would consider Tears of the Kingdom, because I'm obviously referring to Tears of the Kingdom, like it's May 11th, 2023. Zelda, and at least for me, comes out in 2 hours, so I'm fucking excited. And the thing is that why am I excited for this game? I was super hyped for Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, and that's a very controversial game for many people because they think that that game requires a lot of improvements to be considered like a top-notch game. I personally think it's amazing. I think it's incredible. But the thing is that I think this is vastly better in so many more aspects and so many more facets. It's just interesting because I'm just rambling. I guess I should talk about why, because I own 3 Zelda games if you consider Hyrule Warriors a Zelda game. So I own 3 Zelda games. I played a bunch more on my Switch that I don't own. I prefer not to really discuss those games in this video because I think that I would have a much better detail in these games. And also I think, because I was pondering about how I should make this video in my head. And I was thinking how should I tackle the subject of how is Zelda important to me and how has Zelda impacted me? Because, like I said, it is almost 10 o'clock now. I'm eagerly awaiting to just get in my car in an hour and get ready to be online to pick up my pre-order of Zelda and hopefully play it immediately tonight. I should think about why that game in particular is a game that is making me participate and attend my first ever midnight release of a game, because that never happened before. So I think I should discuss why these games make me feel that way and why these games have affected me in such a way that I'm now excited for the sequel of this game. So let's begin with Breath of the Wild, because this was my first ever Switch game. Which, understandable, because, for many, I would assume this is a lot of people's first Zelda game, Switch game. and perhaps a lot of people's first Zelda game as well. This was definitely my first Zelda game, but definitely a lot of people's first Switch game because released opening day reveal, like opening when the console itself released, like came out coincided with it, and I didn't get the Switch opening day, opening release. I got it. I didn't even get a regular Switch. I didn't even get this right here until like December. I think it was Christmas 2020. No, no, I didn't get this Switch last year. Yeah, I didn't get the regular Switch until last year, day after my senior ball. Like it was some like senior skip day, and instead of like going to the beach or like hanging out with friends, I instead went to Target to get a regular Switch, and then I went to work. Like that was my senior skip day basically. Um, but if I can actually put this in without, there we go. So I didn't get a regular Switch until last year. I got a Switch Lite Christmas 2020 with this game. I didn't get a regular Switch. I got a Switch Lite because I was like, okay, like it was pandemic. It was we're all locked in our houses. I had Zoom for my junior year. Like I didn't have a normal junior year of high school. I instead had Zoom for all my classes, and it was very difficult to handle relationships with my friends. It was very difficult to like actually connect with them, and I think a main reason for that is because I didn't own a Switch, which sounds ridiculous, but that was like the main console that my high school friend group did play on. So I was like, I need to get a Switch, and I didn't want my parents to, spend $300 on me for a single gift. So it's like, give me the Switch Lite. So like, give me the $200 inferior version, mind you, but I just wanted a Switch. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about like the difference. How is the regular Switch better than a Switch Lite? I thought about it definitely, but I didn't think like it was that important of a thing to me. So this was my first game. Rambling aside. So I have over 100 hours in this game, which I have more hours on Smash, sure. But I find it because like you can play this with friends, you can easily get so many hours on this. This is a single player game, and I usually don't like playing single player games for more like than an hour at a time. So for me, this is impressive, especially because I was getting into gaming with this game. And so for me, it's like impressive that I have um, accumulated so many hours on a single game. To me, that is what's so cool, I guess, about this game is that like, yeah, people have discussed this a million times over. It's just like you can do so much with this game. You can craft so many different shit. You can, roam around on this giant map. You can do so much shit in this game, and you're not even like playing different characters. You're playing the same voiceless, like John Wick of the universe in a sense. Even though Link is, at least it seems like he's not as murder hungry as John Wick, and I don't even know why I made that comparison. That seems low daft to me, but it's crazy how much mileage you can get out of this game. And to me, this game symbolized like the start of me, getting into gaming, but also finding a new, I guess, a new route or avenue, I guess, of like trying to keep myself busy, of ensuring that I wasn't bored, of ensuring that I wasn't, um, just like generally just making sure that I was doing something all the time, basically, and like making sure that I was just kept occupied in a time where, we were locked in our houses. It was difficult to like find something to um, persistently keep you engaged with what you personally would like to do, and to like find a new hobby, to find something that I've found so much mileage out of. That's why this game is so significant to me. And also because I was engaged with the characters, I was engaged with the story, as simple as the story, from my understanding, is as simple and straightforward as it is compared to other Zelda games. It's just super cool to me that like you can collect all these different outfits, go on all these different side quests that give you different understandings of the world that you're immersed into, and going on these different trials to ensure that like you have a greater grasp and greater appreciation for what you're playing. And to me, that's what makes this game so awesome. Like, yeah, sure, the shrines are repetitive as fuck. And sure, I got stuck on a couple of them and I had to go on YouTube to like figure out like how am I able to solve these puzzles. It's just, I guess because of how there's like this community aspect of it while still being a single player game, and like everyone like kind of um conglomerating all their ideas together and ensuring that like everyone was able to like sort of put their own twist onto the game, and ensuring that there was still all able to like add like this own sort of contribution to the game. That was so awesome to me. And this game is still awesome to me. I would consider it my favorite game of all time because of how much it means to me. Like, sure, I wasn't as creative as other people with using the abilities and using the different weapons that you could use. And it seems like Tears of the Kingdom is really going to um, improve upon that and like advance that sort of ability and sort of like this was like an introduction to like using the different weapons, and now it's sort of being rejuvenated or like reinvigorated with the new game, which is so awesome to me. And I'm using awesome a lot because this game opened up so many possibilities, and it's so cool and extraordinary just what this game accomplished. And now there's so many, different game companies and different franchises that try to replicate the success of this game, and all seemingly ultimately fail. And like Sonic Frontiers, like sure, that's an open world Sonic game, but I personally consider that the best 3D Sonic game, at least for a while. It's just so cool that this game could have so much of an effect on the world, and so many people could adore it so much to the point like it introduces this new wave, this humongous wave of new fans to a rather old franchise in terms of like gaming, which is so awesome to me. And there I go, I used the word again. Hyrule Warriors. This is interesting because it's not canon. It's far from it. It utilizes a lot of the same story mechanics as Breath of the Wild. However, it uses its own spin to ensure that, like, yeah, this is set in the same universe, but it's definitely not. It's like kind of a spin-off, and a spin-off in which it has no effect on the universe that you're familiar with. So, this game is super interesting to me because for my 17th birthday, this was the first game that I purchased with my own money. I purchased it with the money that I acquired from my birthday. So this was the first game that I purchased myself, at least from what I remember. Like, sure, like I purchased 3DS games when I was younger, but it doesn't have the same gravitas, I guess, as owning like an actual AAA game that can not run seamlessly, because this game is very janky on the Switch, and the Switch is such a primitive software that it cannot handle this game effectively. It's just interesting because on the 3DS the games were a lot more bare bones and a lot less impressive looking than at least the Nintendo games look on the Switch, because this looks breathtaking. And this also looks good. It's a little bit muddled, the graphics, and also because the mechanics, rather, because they are a lot more streamlined and there are a lot more complicated than Breath of the Wild, because this game, its whole selling points are like, hey, you can play as these different characters, you can use their own distinct abilities, and also there's a bunch of fighting mechanics in this game, different combos that you could utilize to make the game feel fresh, because you're just fighting hordes of enemies like over and over again for each mission. Plus there's like side trials that are also incorporated in this game, so like make your character stronger and up their XP. So this game could easily get repetitive. But just the fact that you can play as so many different characters, like all these characters on the box art that are available. Like you can play as Urbosa, you can play as Link, Zelda, which is super exciting, and I do hope that at least in Tears of the Kingdom there is a DLC aspect that lets you play as Zelda. That would be super exciting to me. And you can play as all the different champions. And unfortunately, I just been so busy, guys. And also because, well, yes, I still love Zelda. It's just that it's kind of taken a step back from my priorities, working at my job plus going to college. Like, it's a lot. And also because I have to remember so many people's names in real life. It's a little difficult to also remember video game characters' names as well. But regardless, I digress. This game it's just, I think it gets a little too much flack. I think it's definitely a lot of fun. I do understand the complaint that it gets boring and very much the same old rather quickly. However, I think because of the different characters that are at your own disposal, that it could feel fresh and original after a while. And it could, not after a while, like you can pick up a different character, learn the different movesets, and then it feels like it's totally new experience, which I really appreciate about this game. And rambling over about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, I think it's a fun game. I think it gets a little too much criticism than it actually deserves. A game that perhaps does deserve the criticism that it receives is Skyward Sword HD, which, man, there's so much wrong with this game. First off, I would like to say that the box art is beautiful and it is stunning. But man, I just look at the back of this box and I think of how there were the special Joy-Cons that were also available in this game, and how those were like $70, $80 more than the game cost itself. Maybe it was 50, but like the point being is that it was like, along with Joy-Cons, you're paying like double for not an improved experience, but an experience that seems cooler to you. And then, they lock a pretty integral game component under an amiibo that to this day is the most expensive amiibo, MSRP related, because I'm sure that the value of amiibos has probably skyrocketed, especially with their first few. But like they locked the component to like fast travel under an amiibo, which is fucking ridiculous to me. Like you had to pay $25 to make the game more accessible to you is absolutely preposterous. I have this amiibo, not because I got the amiibo after I finished the game, because the amiibo was impossible to find in my area at least. And now because I moved, because this is not the Zandy Boy basement, as you can see. I don't know where my amiibo is. So that's a little unfortunate. Um, the box art is cool. Like I will give this props. Like when I saw this originally, I thought like, man, that's so cool. And then because the second party games or third party games rather, they don't get the cool box art because that's not in Nintendo exclusive. And I would like to prove my points with the Sonic games. Like I'm sure like you've seen this before, but you look at the inside of the Sonic case, and yes, you get the little flap like, "Hey, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, it's on DVD now." And also, hey, you can enter some sort of code to get something cool from the game to download. And oh, actually, I don't think I've ever noticed this. Redeem this code for your adventures. Oh, that's cool. Well, I don't need that, so okay, let's leave that there. But like, you look at this, and it's not as cool. Which long tirades of me jumbling words together. That's my point, basically. Um, yeah, there's just. I think this has one better, from my experience. This has one of the better stories of the game, like of a Zelda game. Like it's so cool to see this, like where their franchise starts, basically. Like yeah, like this is definitely not the first Zelda game from any stretch of the imagination. This came out originally in 2011, but you know, from like a canon perspective, this is one of the first game. This might be the first game. It's just super cool. It's like, hey, this is where the franchise starts, and you get to see like how, because like we have Skyloft in this game, and after we saw the trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, where like you see all the different floating islands, a lot of comparisons made to this game, and so everyone thought like, oh hey, like they released this game to be on the Switch because it's going to have some sort of integral components and some sort of integral correlations to Tears of the Kingdom. Which like it's cool that there's so much theories about Tears of the Kingdom from like very early inception and very early understanding this game. I'm 2 hours away from the game coming out, and I still don't understand or even know what's going to happen. Like that's so insane to me that I'm walking in blinds. But yeah, this a lot of backtracking, which I think it's fine because you experience so many more areas once you're gain different abilities. I think it's a fun game. I think it's a fine title and a fine inclusion to the Switch. I think it's because I do feel like I got $60 of this game, and especially because I didn't play Skyward Sword on the Wii when it came out, and I did not experience this with the motion controls because I still had the Switch Lite at the time. But it's just cool. I don't have any real qualms with it. Yeah, like it's whatever. Like it exists. It's fine. I don't. The thing is, there's more criticism than Hyrule Warriors received because I feel like there's like a ton of backlash from this game. There's definitely an audience for this game too, but I feel like it gets some maybe some unwarranted hate from the franchise from the fans. But yeah, this just seems like because not even the graphics look that good because it definitely looks like this was a retitle that was haphazardly added to Switch. Which yeah, one's fine, sure. But like you just look at the graphics, like yeah, this was a retitle. Like definitely they could have done so much more to make this feel like a more premium experience. But because maybe I'm part of the bias stuff, hey, I didn't play this game originally when it came out, when this was considered the worst Zelda game. I I don't feel as jaded by it, I suppose. So yeah, it's fine. It is. I just talked for like half an hour about Zelda. I'm excited. And as you can tell from what I've been saying, I'm not the biggest Zelda fan in the world, but I'm super excited for the new game, and I'm super excited to head on over to GameStop and be like, hey, I'm number 18 in line. Can I pick up my deli meat, please? And you're like, yeah, sure. Here's a quarter pound of ham. Here's a half a pound of cheese. And then I get my Tears of the Kingdom and the amiibo. And I think there's a pre-order bonus as well. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that is all I want to talk about. Thank you for joining me on this ramble. Goodbye, Gucci Game. Have a good day.